Happy Sunday, everyone. It is day 10 of the 21-day gratitude challenge here at Soul Papa's channel, and I am super grateful to be making this video. And this video is really special to me because it was actually the idea for it was born out of a conversation that I had with someone overseas who on Friday just sent me a text message to let me know that they were grateful for having me in their lives. And so, considering it had been a long time since we spoke, I said, "What's going on?" And, she said to me, "I'm going through a difficult time right now. And, every time I feel low and discouraged, I think about you and it gives me the motivation to go on." And so I was grateful that I could inspire someone thousands of miles away, even though we don't talk all the time. But, I pressed forward and said, "So what's going on?" And she said to me, "I'm feeling really lonely. I'm 30 years old, have never been married. And I was dating someone and they just went cold on me. And, I want to have a family and all these things. And the loneliness is killing me. I don't know what to do." And so I gave her a little bit of encouragement, but then that gave me an idea for a topic that I thought that I would cover today that would be helpful to all the single women that are out there, you know. So I know that society a lot of times puts a lot of pressure on women. And when you hit the age of 30, it's like you're an old maid, you should be married. And in certain cultures, particularly in African and Asian cultures, if you're not married by a certain age, you're pretty much chopped liver. And there's so many things or stereotypes that go along with you, like not only are you an old maid, but there must be something that's wrong with you, that no man wants you. And it's quite interesting. I find it quite funny that people always think that when women are single, it's because no man wants them. Nobody really stops to think that perhaps the woman is single because the men that are proposing to her, or that the men that are coming around her, she doesn't deem worthy to tangle and keep tangled with them. So always people think it's the man doesn't want her, but nobody really stops to think that the woman has a choice in the matter, and that maybe she's meeting lots of people, but she doesn't feel that they're up to par or up to the standard that she might be looking for. So she was asking me, how does one deal with the loneliness? you know? And so I told her about the 21-day gratitude challenge, and I thought I could expound a little bit on that. And so this video is dedicated to you, my friend Charity, and to other women who might be feeling the same way. I just want to tell you, first and foremost, before I even go too far into details, that you are good enough the way you are. Being unmarried does not mean that you are a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're not worthy of anything good. Those are just myths and social or cultural constructs, really, that have been, placed on women to pressure women and to lead to some sort of expectation. Um, but what I would say to you guys is that, in the spirit of being grateful, really, you should be grateful for where you are right now. I know that in certain cultures, like the ones that I mentioned previously, being married is looked at as something that's some sort of achievement, right? It's like getting a PhD in the MRS degree, like the Mrs. degree. But really, being married is not an achievement, okay? It's just another stage in your life. You're single right now, that's a stage in your life. You will be married someday, that will be another stage in your life. So it's just a stage. So you should think about marriage as any other stage in our lives. We're single, we get married, then when you have children, that will be another phase in your life. So life is all about seasons. If you're single, you're in the single season right now, and be grateful for being in the season, because there's so many things that you could do as a single person that sometimes married people also wish, they look back and reminisce and say, "Oh, I remember when I was single, I used to just be able to get up and leave and go off somewhere. And, there were so many other things I could do that perhaps now I might be limited and restricted because I have a family. So that brings me to part two, which is how do you beat the loneliness of being single if you're lonely? The secret to not being lonely, the secret to beating loneliness is to not be lonely. What does that mean? You have to change your focus from thinking that if you have a man, he's going to solve all your problems. That's not true. However you are right now and the kind of person that you are right now, when you're single, you will be that and probably even much more of that when you're coupled with somebody else. So if you're unhappy when you're single, you're going to still be unhappy or perhaps even more unhappy when you're coupled with someone, because your happiness doesn't depend on somebody else. Your happiness is an inside job. If you're lonely now, you will still be lonely in a relationship, because believe me, there are lots of people who are married who are leading lives of quiet desperation. They're lonely in their marriages are loveless, the marriages are sexless. And you see the Facebook pictures, everybody looks happy. Oh, my hubby this, oh, my wifey that. But behind closed doors, it's a totally different story. So the secret of avoiding loneliness is to take responsibility for all of your feelings, really, and for all of the things that are happening around you, and to begin to make steps towards counteracting those things. So if you're lonely right now, the excuse seems to be it's because you don't have a man, but the reality is there's something that's much more deeper that you have to look at and begin to explore and heal within yourself. So you can do that by making the most of where you are right now. Stop wishing to be somewhere else where you're not. So stop wishing to be married or projecting into the future and saying, if only I were married, then I would be happy. If I had a man in my life, then I would be able to do X, Y, Z. Now is the time to do X, Y, Z. Make the most of where you are right now. Spend time developing yourself, travel, pick up new hobbies, try new things, meet new people, keep yourself busy. That's how you beat the loneliness. Find a core group of friends that you can spend time with, who can love and support you, and that you can do life with together. That's the way you beat loneliness, by looking within yourself for the things that you need to do, figuring out what your dreams are and following and pursuing those dreams. Because once you're living your best life and being the best that you can be, then when you're not even thinking about this man coming through or this woman coming through, that's when you'll actually meet the person that you want to spend your life with, the man that you want to marry. So it's not about sitting somewhere feeling sorry for yourself and hoping that this prince is going to come and sweep you off your feet on a horse. It's about going out there and making your life happen. And in the process of making your life happen, you will meet the man of your dreams. And that's exactly what happens really for most people. So I'd like to encourage you to do that, to try that, and just be the best that you can be. And the final thing that I want to tell you, that I would like to encourage you, is if you're truly serious about meeting someone and coupling with someone, now is the time when you're single to be prepared to meet the one that has been divinely selected for you. Okay? So if you ask for success but prepare for failure, you will most definitely get what you're prepared for. So you can't say, I want to get married, I want to meet this man and all of these things, and then embark on feeling sorry for yourself and not doing anything to improve yourself. That's preparing to fail. So people always say that luck is when preparation meets opportunity, right? That's when luck happens. So you have to be prepared for the opportunity to come into your life. Now, it's almost always better for you to be prepared and for there to be no opportunity to come than for you to be completely unprepared when an opportunity presents itself. So what am I talking about? What I'm saying is, if you want to meet the man of your dreams, make a list of the kind of guy that you want to meet And when you make that list, look through the list and look at the things that you also be that list. Essentially, look through all of those qualities that you've listed that you want your man to have, and work on being those things on that list. So you need to get back to working on yourself so that you are prepared to meet the kind of man that you want in your life. Because if you're asking for a man who's patient, loving, understanding, caring, somebody who has the same values as yours, someone who's hardworking, but on the other hand, you're impatient, selfish, lazy, and looking for a man who's going to take care of you, those two paradigms are not compatible. So you have to make sure that whatever it is that you want in your future mate, you also have those qualities. And so work on preparing yourself to meet that person by working on those same qualities and cultivating those qualities in yourself. Because when you cultivate those qualities in yourself, you'll attract someone who is like you. Okay? So that would be the word of advice to you. Personally, I'm happily booed. I think that's what they call it these days. But I have to tell you that I was living my own life, doing my own thing, serving God, making my YouTube videos, preaching the word of God. I had a host of friends I was hanging out with, people that I were supportive of me, and I was taking photography classes. I was doing so many things and so busy in my life. I didn't even have time to think about a guy in my life. It was just not something that was on my radar. I was just focusing on being the best person that I could be. And when I was those things, and when I was happily pursuing my life, then the man that had all those 10 qualities or 12 qualities on my list manifested. But it wasn't because I was sitting around just waiting for him to come along. It was because I was living my life, doing my own thing, pursuing my goals and my dreams, and working to being the best that I could be. And so that's the best advice that I could give you really at this point. It's that don't think of being single as a disease. It's not a disease. It's a blessing to be single as much as it is a blessing to be married. But marriage comes with its own set of things. And so you have to develop the qualities that will make you a good husband, that will make you a good wife, even before the husband or the wife manifests in your life. So be grateful for where you are right now. Use your time wisely. Make the most of where you are, and use the singleness season to develop yourself and prepare to meet the one. I love you guys. I'll talk to you on Tuesday. Have a blessed week, and be grateful for being single, because it's just the bomb diggity. Take care. Love you. Bye.